When you nearly lose your life, it makes you put certain things into perspective, and it makes you appreciate what's worth worrying about and what really doesn't matter. And the things that would normally have worried me about doing something like this, they don't matter. They really don't matter. What's funny about IndyCar racing is a lot of people don't appreciate just how physical it is. We don't have power steering in the cars. The faster you go, the more downforce you have, the more G-forces you're producing, the heavier the steering wheel gets. So our upper body has to be incredibly strong. You're balancing the pedals while you're through these high G corners, so a lot of that actually comes from core strength. We have to be able to put almost 2,000 pounds of pressure through the braking system with our left leg, so you gotta do a lot of lower body. And then the thing that nobody really thinks about is your neck. You know, let's say for the sake of argument, your head weighs 10 pounds. And you go through a corner at 3G, now all of a sudden your head weighs 30 pounds. So you've got to support that weight, and that's one corner of one lap. And we can do a track with 15 corners and do it for 90 laps. So we go out and race for 3.5, 4 hours sometimes. Your heart rate is elevated the entire time. Your muscles are engaged the entire time. We need the endurance of a marathon runner, but the strength to be able to manhandle one of these cars around a track.
James Hinchcliffe runs it to the line, and he wins his second one on the final corner on the final lap. James Hinchcliffe is a winner again.
So in 2015, I had a very scary crash here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was a mechanical failure on the car. It sent me into the wall at 225 miles an hour. And that's bad on a good day, but it was made worse by the fact that part of the suspension, rather than just folding like it normally does, I hit it just the right angle that this steel rod didn't bend. It shot through the race car like a bullet, and it went straight through my body. I was shish kebabbed, for lack of a better term. And as if that's not bad enough, when it went into me, it actually hit the femoral artery in my left leg. The doctors originally said that I probably wouldn't walk for about 2 weeks. I'd be in hospital for about a month, and I wouldn't drive anything again for 6 or 7 months. And I walked on day 4, I got out of the hospital on day 10, and I drove an IndyCar again 4 months later. For all the things that had to go just wrong for me to be in that position, because it was a very freak accident, even more things had to go just right for me to not only survive it, but survive it basically side effect free. Honestly, for me, this is something that I know I would not have said yes to before my accident. Since that happened, you know, I really try to live life to the fullest and take opportunities that are presented to me, because you never know if you're gonna get a chance to do that again. As drivers, we fight the battle a lot of people not really thinking we're athletes. And I get it. Anybody can grab a football, try and throw it 40 yards at a moving target and think, hey, Tom Brady's really good at what he does. Or stand at a 3-point line, miss 10 out of 10 shots and say, hey, Steph Curry's really good at what he does. But so few people get the opportunity to drive an IndyCar or drive any kind of car at this level. They equate it to driving a road car, which is by and large, yeah, pretty simple. So they don't think it's difficult, they don't think it's physical, they don't consider us athletes. We spend our lives trying to find the limit, trying to push the limit. And when you're doing 50 miles an hour, crossing the limit, not a big problem. When you're doing 100 miles an hour, crossing the limit, manageable. At 200 miles an hour, you're covering a football field a second. So if you miss your turn-in point or your break point by 1/10 of a second, that's 10 yards. The concrete walls are about 10 inches away. So you literally have to have 1/10 of a second precision with every input that you give for sometimes 3.5, 4 straight hours, because one misstep, going over it just a little bit, can be an absolute disaster. Part of wanting to do this shoot, and part of what I hope people take out of it, is you can see the amount of training that goes into it. You can see that we have to be fit, and we do work hard on the physical side of our sport, and I hope it shows in the pictures that we took today.